welcome to Zandvoort. We're racing here for the first time. I only had the 20 minutes qualifying session beforehand to practice. Let's see how it goes.
Green, green, green.
Careful into T1, as there's a lot of dust on the track and you don't want to punt anyone out. You can really see the Caymans, they're ascending it, they're way more confident, probably are running higher tire pressures as they just seem to have way more grip at the beginning of the race than I do. Hopefully the lower tire pressures that I have will pay off towards the end of the race. Here you can see the Cayman coming, oh my god, and he sends it. He definitely went for it. Just the confidence that they have at the beginning is unbelievable. Definitely don't want to let through the second Cayman, that would just be embarrassing. But it seems I was able to hold this one off. Okay, to get my dignity back and the position, I tried to get the Cayman with this move, but just later on the brakes, just knows what he's doing. Tried to get a tight line to get a good exit, but even here he just is that bit later on the brakes and just squeezes me out. Here you can see me even cut the corner a little bit and throw up some dust. Trying to gain as much speed, but this Cayman is really quick. Wanting to brake late, but yellow flag means no dice. P1 and P2 binned it in the first turn. And now we are third. Now we just have to get past the Cayman. We're taking the same higher line in T3. You can also see the Porsche Cup behind me. You can really see the car working over the bumps and how bumpy this turn is. Trying to get a good exit to gain on the Cayman again. Taking a wider line. Hopefully getting a better exit to be able to close the gap as soon as possible. Here I try to extend the turn as much as possible. Make it a nice wide turn. Get early on the throttle. To be able to use the power that I have to overtake the Cayman. And you can see in the mirror he did not want to give up that position. Oof, that was close. Okay, there we are. We have P1 in front of us. Let's see if we can catch him. This time I don't drive through the dirt. And we'll skip the clip ahead a little bit, 3 laps later. You can see I was able to gain some time, and now we're getting in AVS striking distance territory. So as I mentioned before, I am assuming that we started with lower tire pressures, me struggling at the beginning of the race. Now, after I think it's about 12 minutes into the race, the tire pressures are significantly better. My guess is that the other drivers are struggling with too high tire pressures, and you can see that in the car in front of me. Definitely not taking the optimal line here as well. So just struggling to find the grip. And here you can even see the small slide from the guy ahead. A little bit too eager on the throttle there. can now see that I've basically completely closed the gap onto P1. Now I just need to find a way to get past. All the hours of multi-class sim racing is now paying off, getting through all this traffic. .944 Porsche is looking good though. Could be more aggressive on the brakes in this turn. So he has the second generation 991 Porsche Cup, which I think has 20 horsepower more, so that will make the overtaking on the straight a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have to use the little skill that I have to get past. So here I try to attack a little bit lower into T3, but you really see how the car then struggles to get up out of the steep part of the turn. You really see how bumpy this track is, especially there on the crest. Very scary part of the track. Seems that he had a better exit there as well, hence the gap now increasing again. Here I have an earlier apex, so maybe I'm able to get on throttle earlier than he is. Now the Cayman unfortunately in the way. Let's see if he makes space for me. Only hindered a little bit. So now I have to close the gap yet again. Speed! Where's the boost? I need DRS in this car, honestly. Taking the outside line again. And I'm not gaining any time. Oh, I am gaining time on the Delta. Improving my lap times. Oh, I pushed it too much. Really had a Code Brown moment there. Definitely clenched in that moment. But that really goes to show how much I was pushing it to close the gap on this guy. Goes really wide on the exit. Even though I'm making mistakes, it seems that he's also making mistakes, so we're both really pushing it here. None of us wants to give up the position, and was able to make a significant amount of time in that chicane. Now I'm able to use the 944 slipstream. We have a lot of traffic from the Caymans. Let's see if we can use this to our advantage. Slightly lower in T3. You can see I'm losing time, so it's really the outside line you want to take. And we have a lot of traffic, so here is where P1 loses quite a bit of time. he had the red and yellow flag there, meaning that there is a change in surface. So maybe there's oil or grass. I think there is grass on the right that you can see there. So now it's just being extra careful. You can see he's already driving his defensive line. See if he can find a way past. Now we really are getting into the traffic. I forgot how exciting this this race actually was. A little bit of oversteer on that turn in the exit. So here he had to be later on the throttle. Go on the throttle straight away. You can really see that advantage that I have here on the exit. Try to stick on the slipstream. But that little power advantage he has means that I can't really gain on him. I'm trying to get it from the Cayman in front. And the Caymans are in their own battle, so they don't really have time to think about us. But we have to send it directly. No one wants to lose that much time. And oh my god, proper moment from P1 there. You can see maybe I can take this. Maybe this is the opportunity. But no, don't want to risk it there in this high-speed turn. Try to take the corner as wide as possible to get on throttle earlier. So I can use the speed advantage on the straight. This straight is a bit too short to be able to do that. Seems that he lifted a little bit. He is very late on the brakes there. Did give me the space. And what a move. Oh my god. I think if I hadn't pulled out of that move, it would have been quite the contact there. So definitely probably not the best place to overtake, but let's see if we can do it somewhere else then. But this also showed me that he was not going to let me by without a fight, so I really had to find a good place to overtake. See him going wide in this turn. Seems to be he's really struggling for grip in that turn. Despite the Cayman, I try to always go wide on this turn for the exit speed. And again, I was able to close the gap a little bit. Again, it seems to be that he's lifting in the last turn. I don't know why that seems to be the case. So he took the inside line, definitely not the fastest line for him to take. So he's already defending on the inside. Here I'm already thinking about taking the inside line. And I got a way better exit than he did. Because the turn turns in like this, I'm able to make the overtake. But he's not gonna let me have this without a fight. So this is also the first time that I'm ever leading a race, let alone an overall P1 position, so not even first place in class. So as you can imagine, my heart is racing right now, knowing that I still have, I think, about 6 minutes of racing left to defend the position, where many things might go wrong. So as you can see, there's lots of traffic. Here I need to make sure that I really don't lose any time when driving through this traffic. And you can really see that I don't hesitate to make the moves. I just have to trust that these 944 drivers are looking in the mirror and they know that I'm coming. You can see him chasing me down. Maybe the traffic can block him if I'm lucky. I need to concentrate on not making any mistakes, because I do know that I have the pace to pull away. Another group of cars. You can also see the Caymans probably have the exact same situation with the 944s to get past them. They're probably in a battle themselves and they don't have time to think about me coming past. But you can also see P2 behind me also making the moves. Oh, and whilst I'm looking in the mirror, the Cayman in front of me is having a moment in the braking zone. Oh, definitely a lot going on. Now at that moment, which I found out after the race, there was smoke coming out of the back of the car, which is not really what you want to find out after the race. Luckily I was still in the moment, didn't see. Having a technical failure when you're leading the race is definitely not something that you want. Apple Computer's livery of a 944 looks absolutely fantastic, and they were also kind enough to hold up P2, giving me a little bit more buffer. Little moment of oversteer, so maybe also finally my tires are starting to overheat or starting to have higher tire pressures than they should have. You can see me constantly looking in the mirrors. I need to know where P2 is. Maybe something that I should work on, just concentrate on driving as fast as possible, concentrating on looking forward, not back. So every time I'm driving this turn, I'm just hoping that the timer is at 0 and the man is waving the checkered flag, but not yet. Still got a bit of time left. somebody locks up in the front. One thing about this racing series is that all the drivers are really getting the maximum out of the car. You can really see that they're all pushing it to the limit, sometimes beyond. And me as well. It's great to see these older cars still being raced properly. Again, just checking the mirrors. Is there enough buffer behind me? Can I relax a little bit? This might be the second to last lap. This is also a part of the race where you really start to think, oh man, maybe I can actually win this. But then you really have to get those thoughts quickly out of your head and just concentrate on driving the car. Still have to actually finish it. The yellow flag, somebody had technical difficulties. You could see the green flag afterwards, making sure that we are allowed to race. Hyman's kind enough to make space, so I don't have to lose time overtaking. There you can see P2 in the mirror. Now also my lap times are no longer as good, trying to not go making any risky moves, just trying to bring the car home. Now approaching the last lap, timer's at 0-0. Okay, so we're approaching turn 3. We know that there's a car standing there, so probably still a yellow flag. Yep, yellow flag. Here's where I hesitated or slowed down a little bit, failing to see the green flag. Of course, P2 used this opportunity to close the gap completely. So, unintentionally, I have now made the last lap exciting, which definitely is not something I wanted to do, but might be good for you. I'm already trying to drive a defensive line, not taking the corners as wide as I would usually, making sure to cut him off. I'm also lucky with the traffic that there's no traffic here. the last turn. Definitely don't want to mess it up. Really on throttle, full power. And is it enough? And I'm already celebrating before before I pass the checkered flag, hoping that I made it. But oh my god, what a relief! Saying hello to the marshals and P2. What a race! So unbelievable feeling, having driven here for the first time ever, and being able to win the race is incredible feeling. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing. It really motivates me to make more of this kind of content. And you can see our mechanics waiting to check the tire pressures for the next race later in the day. And of course we had reason to celebrate as well. I forgot to pull the handbrake or leave the car in gear, so the car kept rolling away. But that didn't get in the way of us celebrating the win.